Chelsea owners remain committed to Graham Potter even if the club misses out on a top four finish and the Champions League qualification this season. How do you feel about that, ladies and gentlemen?
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. We are back again with another Chelsea News Blitz segment. It's going to be interesting to go through quite a few news that's been floating around. And like always, I definitely want to see what you guys have to say about all this. Please, in the comment section, make sure you talk about everything that we raised today, everything that's been talked about. First up, ladies and gentlemen, from Matt Law, directly from Matt Law. This is no joke. Chelsea's owners remain committed to Graham Potter, even if the club misses out on a top four finish and Champions League qualification this season. Now, I want to look at both sides of the coin, the other side of the coin. So I want to look at both sides of the coin, and then I want to give you my opinion. I also want to hear what you guys have to say about this. Look, in one hand, it's great that the owners are backing the manager, which means owners have complete trust on the manager, which also tells me that the owners believe that whatever body of work that Graham Potter has shown previously, they think that they can utilize that, they can maximize that in Chelsea Football Club. Now, there's no doubt Graham Potter's a good manager. I'm not going to sit here and slag him off just because what has happened at Chelsea Football Club over the last couple of months. He has met with adversities, much like what Thomas Tuchel met with last season in terms of key players being injured. But I know what Graham Potter is capable of in Brighton, and I get it. That's Brighton. This is Chelsea Football Club, different ballgame. I understand that. But if you can apply those principles, those fundamentals, at the end of the day, the fundamentals, being able to coach, being able to set up, embed a particular system. If he's able to do that in Brighton with less resources, you'd think he should be able to do that in Chelsea with more resources. So there's that side of the story, which I'm okay to be patient with. I understand what Graham Potter is, capable of bringing. The other side of the spectrum, however, is how far are we willing to fall if we are going to comment on these sort of things? Like if we are going to make statements like this right now from the ownership saying that your job's fine, mate, it's okay if you finish outside of top four. How is this taken by Graham Potter, by the playing group? I mean, there needs to be a push. There needs to be a desire to still do well. I mean, what is the objective then for this season? Like if there is no sort of standard or barometer to hold someone accountable for, then what is the objective? Like, how far do we need to fall? We've now gone 4 matches without winning, including the Man City game in the Carabao Cup. I mean, where are we? Lingering around 8th, 9th, something like that? How far does it need to go? Where do we say, do you know what? Yeah, I'm not liking what I'm seeing. I need to see something. Now, this is my point of view. So you've seen this side of the coin. You've seen the other side of the coin. Now, let me give you my side of the coin. I feel you have to be patient. We're not in that era anymore where we can just instantly gain success. I understand that. We've stripped apart everything. Everyone that we used to know previously, from ownership with Roman Abramovich, with all the key people that were operating the business in terms of Marina and Bruce Buck and so on and so forth, they're all gone. All our legendary players, most of them are gone as well. So this is a new beginning. This is a completely new beginning. And everything that we've known about Chelsea Football Club, I think we need to forget. We do need to forget all the things that we used to say that Chelsea is all about, success right now, success immediately. I think we are building a new building now. And when you build something new, you've got to start from the base. So the whole culture and everything that we used to have for Chelsea Football Club, it's got to redevelop again. In my opinion, it's got to redevelop again. So from that perspective, I understand we need to be patient. But I'm a bit weary because once you start making statements like this, there is no guarantee. Like if we miss out on top four, let's say we miss out on top four, we end up coming 5th, 6th, 7th, whatever the case is, right? There are other teams, they're not just waiting around for us. Like they're improving. Arsenal have leapfrogged us. Man City are continuing to just keep on bossing. Liverpool ain't going to stop. They're apparently they're one of the contenders of getting Jude Bellingham. and they're gonna get more players. They've got an ownership situation. They're probably going to get wealthy owners as well, and you don't know what's going to happen from there. Man United's not going to sit around as well. They're looking for new owners. Newcastle are the new dogs in this whole spectrum of things. Spurs, you can never rule them out either, with Antonio Conte being in the helm. And then there are other teams that are always consistently bridging the gap in the likes of Brighton. Aston Villa have got themselves Unai Emery. Who knows what's going to happen there, and so on and so forth. It's not easy in the Premier League. Ask Arsenal. Once you miss out on top four, you have the potential of missing out on it for several years. It's not easy to come back. So there's that. I'm fine being patient. From a logical standpoint, it makes sense because you can't just buy success anymore, man. You can't. There is a process. As much as we hate that word, P word, there is a process that you have to endure. But my belief is Graham Potter has enough ingredients to kickstart something. My opinion is I want to see a form of football. I want to see a style of football. I want to see progressive development. I don't expect the world, but I do want to see incremental development in the team, patterns of play, an identity for Chelsea Football Club, much like what he eventually got in Brighton. Brighton, it took a while. In Chelsea, I feel like it has to be done in less than half that time. So if we are to miss top four this season, which is quite likely, to be honest, with however the season's gone so far, I know it's still a long way to go. I do want to see some form of development because right now when we play, we don't seem to know how to defend, nor do we seem to know how to attack. So that's my standpoint. If we're going to miss out on top four, we better be showing some form of style. I don't want to miss out on top four and end up coming 10th, 11th, 12th, and it was a complete waste of a time. And we're waiting for new players to come in next season to do some sort of damage. So, look, that's my standpoint. From the bottom of my heart, I don't want to miss out on top four. I hope we make it to the Champions League positions because financially it's going to be a bit of a hamper as well, man. And we'll get to the financial sector because there is some talks about stadium development. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea have begun talks with Youssoufa Moukoko representatives over possibility of a move for free next summer. Keen to sign young German international on a 5+1 year deal. Oh man, Bowley loves the 5+1 year deal, loves those long deals. Sources close to TSS believe more realistic chance of securing him than Endrick. Forget Endrick. Endrick's going to Real Madrid. This is coming from the Secret Scout, and the Secret Scout gets things right. I'm telling you right now. Now, some of you guys were talking about Youssoufa Moukoko recently. I had no idea who he was. Dortmund player, young sensation, German international. Germany needs a number 9. They really do. Badly needed. We saw what happened in the World Cup. If we can get this youngster, and seems to be the project is built around youngsters. Now, I'm going to be weary about that as well. I don't think we should just influx the entire team. And it kind of looks like that's where it's going. With a lot of these, players that we're rumored with who are youngsters, I feel like you can't just influx the team with babies, man. You need some experienced players to guide them through. And these are proper babies. These are 18. Just imagine when you were 18. What do we know about life? I'm fine in getting these type of players. But be weary. We need to add experience with it. Solid experience with it. Or keep some experience with it. Now, Youssoufa Moukoko, ladies and gentlemen, for those who don't know, I'm just going to bring this up. So, as you can see over here, let me just increase that a little bit more. His contract expires in June 30, 2023. This is why there's a lot of stuff that's been, going around in regards to this particular player. There's a push from Chelsea Football Club because he's literally got 6 more months left and he can potentially sign up a pre-agreement right now. So that's a fantastic situation. He's only 18 years old, as you can see, German international, 1.79 meters, so approximately 6 foot. I think 1.86 foot. So far this season in the Bundesliga, 14 matches, 6 goals, 4 assists. Champions League, 6 matches, 1 assist. DFB Pokal, 2 matches, 1 assist. It's not that bad. 22 matches, 6 goals, 6 assists is for an 18-year-old, it's quite impressive. Centre forward is his position. As you can see, he gets bits and pieces here and there. Sometimes he starts. 2 goals against Bochum, 1 against Stuttgart, 1 against Bayern Munich as well. 89 minutes played against Bayern Munich. So look, there's obviously something about this player. There's no doubt about it. Look, I don't know much about this particular player. I need to see some footage. I need to follow Dortmund. But you guys let me know how you feel about Youssoufa Moukoko. Could be a smart thing, could be a smart signing, and this is probably more realistic. Endrick is going to Real Madrid. If we can secure a young up-and-coming striker, but then again, what's going on with Armando Broja? You know what I mean? Like, do we have a plan for him? So, look, maybe we want to have a good crop of these type of players. You know, a couple of strikers. At the end of the day, Aubameyang is not a long-term thing. So, let's see. I'm happy with the situation. I need to do a little bit more research on Youssoufa Moukoko, but you guys let me know how you feel about that. Next up, I'm afraid I don't see anything happening with Romeo Lavia and Chelsea in January. I think he'll stay until the end of the season and maybe another year. I'm not aware of anything on Mohamed Kudus to Chelsea right now. So this is coming from Fabrizio Romano. There's literally apparently nothing going on with Romeo Lavia. Some of you guys have been talking about Romeo Lavia. Get him in midfield. Being part of the midfield revamp, another youngster, someone who's done well against us. He scored against us. But how many more youngsters do we want to influx? As I keep saying, he's a really good player. I get it. But apparently this is not going to happen at the moment. Fabrizio Romano is not hearing anything. Surprisingly, we went after this guy in the transfer deadline day, summer, for £50 million. Like, this is incredible. For going after youngsters like this. Mohamed Kudus as well, nothing about him. There's some talks that perhaps Dortmund is looking at. He's such a Dortmund kind of a player, isn't he, Mohamed Kudus? You know he's going to go there and he's going to rip up the Bundesliga. So, and maybe that's probably the wise decision to go with for the time being. And then, like Ajax is probably going to, I think the rumor is about £20 million. I don't know why when we inquire, Mohamed Kudus is 40 million, but when Dortmund inquires, it's 20 million. But you know Dortmund's probably going to get a player like this and then eventually sell him for about 80 million once he absolutely rips up the Bundesliga and then makes his way elsewhere. I like Mohamed Kudus. It's a very, very good player. Next up, some injury update in regards to some of the players that's been injured in recent times. Graham Potter did a press conference, I believe, or an interview. Ben Chilwell has come back from his individual work in Dubai and he's now working closer with the guys, but still no team training. So we've got a bit of time left, approximately 3 weeks to go before Premier League starts. So hopefully by then Ben Chilwell is fully fit. We do need him back. I want him back. I need him to rip up that left side, man. I know we've got Cucurella, but I need everyone to start firing. And Ben Chilwell, when on form, can score goals, can assist, and I need goals. This team lacks goals. Further goes on to say Graham Potter, Reece James is not quite fully training, but he's integrating into training along with Wesley. Wesley Fofana is a little bit further behind, but not too far. Both Reece James needs to be ready. By the time we have our game starting for Premier League, I need Reece James to start. I'm sorry. This guy needs to be ready because without him, we are literally toothless. So how that's going to happen, he hasn't played football for a while. Could be the fact that he gets eased into it. I understand that. But the quicker he gets his body conditioned, the better it is for us. Wesley Fofana as well. I'm not entirely worried as it because we've got some cover there. But obviously he's going to mean a big deal come once Premier League kick starts. From January onwards, I'm telling you, the fixtures are thick and fast. In regards to N'Golo Kante, is a little bit further away, but he's progressing well. Look, with this brother, I don't know when he's going to be back. And even when he's back, am I confident that he can stay fit? I'm not sure. I know some of you guys will say the same thing about Reece James, but this guy, I don't even remember anymore, man, when the last time he played a lot of games in a row. I think might have been back in the Champions League season when we won. So I'm kind of used to not playing with N'Golo Kante. Whereas with Reece James, he's a huge miss in terms of when Reece James is not around, like our creativity just drops, man. Like massively drops. Even with N'Golo Kante, when we have Reece James, we've won games. But yeah, with Kante, I don't know what's going on. Kepa is not quite with the team yet, but has stepped up his rehab. Ruben Loftus-Cheek is doing some work in gym, so we're hopeful that he can be involved next week, but we'll see how he goes. I don't know what happened to Kepa, man. Why is he out for so long? I had no idea that he picked up such an injury. Look, hopefully he's ready as well. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, look, I mean, I'm not that, crazy about if he's not fully fit by the time Premier League starts. Jorginho's still there. Hopefully Kovacic, I don't know what will happen with Kovacic, whether there's some injury issues with him as well, whether he goes and sorts that out. But I think in midfield, hopefully we'll have cover with other players as well. So we'll see what happens there. Obviously, if we play three-man midfield, maybe at times Mount, Gallagher, whoever else can chip in as well. I think Ruben Loftus-Cheek should be fit by the time Premier League comes around. Now, last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, exclusive. Chelsea have committed to a massive redevelopment of Stamford Bridge, ending fees. The club will relocate to a new stadium, so there is no relocation. It's about redevelopment of Stamford Bridge. The shareholder group that owns the London Club Stadium freehold, Chelsea pitch owners, said the new owners have committed to redevelopment of the stadium, so it's anticipated the group's workload will increase as this project begins to take shape. The club recently appointed a committee to consider new location and had reconsidered a shock move to a 60,000-seater stadium in Earls Court. The move to Earls Court, where the exhibition centre once stood, was previously explored under Roman Abramovich. So look, the redevelopment, ladies and gentlemen, it's required. We are one of the top 6 clubs in the Premier League. Forget about in Europe. One of the top 6 clubs in the Premier League that have the least income generating from match day revenue through tickets. This needs to improve. There's teams like Spurs that are earning probably twice as much as us. This is why their financial capacity, I know they don't spend much, but at least they're better in that sense, that financial sort of stability. We need that because our owners can't just keep pumping in money. We need money coming through from ticket sales, merchandise, sponsorship, so on and so forth. Ticket sales are a huge one. I think Stamford Bridge only holds about 40,000. That's a joke. For a top club like us, minimum 60,000, minimum. And then if you look around in Europe, Camp Nou, it's like 100 plus, I think. Real Madrid as well, Bernabeu, a lot. So we probably can't get into those levels unless we move. But if we can redevelop the Stamford Bridge and add up to close to 60,000 seats, I think that's a start. And that's needed for our sustainability, our club's sustainability, so that our owners don't have to keep pumping in, injecting money, so we can generate our own income as well. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you thought about everything that we've gone through. We've talked about Graham Potter. Doesn't really matter if you finish outside the top 4. How do you feel about that? I'm sure you've got an opinion on that. Youssoufa Moukoko, let me know what you know about him. And all the other bits and pieces of news, the injury front, the injury update and whatnot. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button if you have. If you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. I shall see you guys for a live tomorrow. Until then, see ya.